Hey guys, so this week is International OCD Awareness Week. OCD stands for Obsession Compulsive Disorder. So a lot of people think of OCD as like obsessing over like cleaning all the time, or they have to have things in perfect order, things like that. And I was just actually talking to a friend about this, and it nitpicks me in the butt. Like, it is such a pet peeve of mine when people say that. Like, and I guess I can't necessarily be mad when people say, oh, I have OCD, um, when they think that, like, because things need to be perfect and they obsess about little things. That is like the furthest from like, I guess you could say real OCD. Like, I don't know how to like, that's just a like perfectionism thing that those people have. But in reality, like OCD, there's so many different forms. And again, I'm not like, I didn't go to school to learn about OCD and all the mental health issues and stuff like that. But I just know my OCD, I have been dealing with ever since I was little, since I was a little girl. My OCD is so your OCD is the obsession. So the obsession are the thoughts that run through your head. Okay, so that's like continuous like thought, like an unwanted thought that comes in like your mind, and then the compulsion is maybe like the rituals that you do because of this thought. So some people have different fears. A common one that maybe like some people know is like the washing of the hands. So it's not just like, oh, I need to wash my hand because I'm afraid of like the germs. Sure, that's the type of OCD. But the people who have like that, like real type of OCD, they're doing it like 4 times before they go eat like a sandwich. You know, most of us, yeah, the healthy thing to do and the clean, like we go wash our hands before we eat. But somebody who has OCD, they go wash their hands and then it's in their head like, oh my gosh, my hands are still dirty. It's because it's a thought that runs in their head, and it's a constant thought. And like, if they don't go wash their hands, it's a constant thought in their head. So they go wash their hands again, and they come back, and they can't. They still gotta go wash their hands again. And sometimes like maybe it's 4 times because the 4 is just maybe that's the number that it's associated with, or maybe it's just after 4 times it's a feeling that feels good. Everybody is different. So for me, I have kind of different ones, but like for me, mine is I have like obsessing over, my OCD is obsessing over obsessing, basically. And also the fear of basically bad things always happening, or like it's always my fault if I don't do something. So for example, so let's kind of backtrack here. So let's take the bad things happening. So excuse me. So when I was little, I mean, a lot of us have gone through maybe some sort of death in the family or something like that. As my grandparents obviously got older and started getting sick, I kind of had these thoughts in my head, but I kind of ever since before that had some of these things in my head as well. That like if I didn't touch like certain things on the wall, or like sometimes it's like little holes in the wall, like it's like a feeling that feels good. And again, I'm new to like explaining this because I've never really told many people about this. So bear with me trying to explain this right now, because it's going to sound really weird to a lot of you. And if I get emotional, I apologize. Sorry if I sound like that. And so I just, but I relate to my grandparents because that's just when it comes more in my head and when I can remember more when I was little. But so yeah, anyways, as I was younger though, I just remember kind of like even driving the car with my mom, like before we would get in the car or anything like that, like if I didn't go like make sure I shut my door like in my room or like turn the lights off or like a lot of my stuff was like a feeling type of thing too. Like I had to touch certain things, like I had to like feel it. And if I didn't do that, like something was gonna happen. Like a lot of times I associated with death, but like it was always kind of more like something just bad was going to happen. And it was going to be my fault. It's kind of how my OCD always triggers me and still to this day. It's if I don't do this behavior, this ritual, that this obsessing thing that's in my head, it's gonna come true. Like it's gonna happen, and it's all gonna be my fault. So, but then that's when the obsessing over the obsessing comes in, because let's just say, okay, Jill, you're crazy. Like you're not gonna get in a car accident, or you're not gonna get in a car accident because, like, let's just say for some reason you didn't turn off your light. Whoop-de-doo, right? Like a lot of you guys are probably looking at me right now like, okay, yeah, say your light was on, Jill, and you forgot to turn it off. That does not mean like you're gonna cause a car accident because of that light. Like a lot of you guys may be thinking like those are two different situations. But in my mind, it was that obsessing or the obsessing like, oh my gosh, if I don't do this, it's gonna happen. And then it was like this thought that triggered in my head, and it would be a constant thing in my head. Again, I shouldn't say like it still does. So if like I don't do this stuff, these just like, it stays in my head and I can't get it, it like won't go away. So that's like one example. So fast forward, like when my mom had a stroke, my OCD got pretty bad because my anxiety, like, so OCD and like anxiety are very much related, because obviously OCD like triggers your anxiety, or anxiety triggers OCD, vice versa, or whatever. But like as she's laying there in the hospital and like fighting for her life, I'm thinking like, oh my God, if I don't do these like behaviors that like if I don't do like certain behaviors, if I don't touch certain things, she's gonna die, and it's like gonna be my fault. And again, that's just where the OCD comes in, and the anxiety kicks in, and that's like these thoughts just don't go away. Like there's a point like where I felt like I couldn't leave a room. Like these thoughts would just go through my head. Like, oh my God, if I do this, if I do that, like it's gonna kill my mom. If I like don't touch something, if I don't, or if I did do something, like again, it's not always like if I don't do this, but like I'm getting like anxiety talking about this right now. It would all be because of my fault. When really I had no control, obviously, for her fighting for her life. But my OCD, like these intrusive thoughts that go in my head, like the unwanted thoughts that like it was gonna be my fault no matter what. And I fought so hard to get them out of my head, to like think it doesn't matter what like you do right now. It like she's, you know, your behaviors and stuff, it's not gonna matter. But like but if I went to the bathroom, if I did any of this, like, it was like, oh my God, you better check this, you better check that. Your mom's on her deathbed. If you don't do this, Jill, like, your mom's going to die, and it's all going to be your fault. So that's just some of the OCD that, like, I, like, really, really had during those times. And so now, like, so here's an example, though, too, like, so being an athlete, through high school and, like, college, I played, like, intramurals, and then, like, now being a CrossFit athlete, like, just doing a lot of, like competition stuff and things like that, like, my OCD, like, I get, like, really bad anxiety when it comes to, like, competitions and stuff. And, like, say the day of a competition or a day of a game day, like, I would get super, super nervous, and, like, I would just, like, if I don't do certain rituals, certain things, or touch certain things, like, sometimes it's, like, a smell thing, like, again, I don't know how to explain all this, and I'm not going to go into detail on this video, but it, like, it like, makes me think, like, I'm not going to perform well, or, like, again, all these thoughts that just, like, go into my head. And so sometimes it just, like it gives me, like, the worst anxiety because of these unwanted thoughts. And some people are like, oh, you know, you hear these things, like, it's in your head. Yeah, it fucking is in my head, but it's unwanted thoughts that I don't want. And once, like, the game starts, once the competition starts, and this is why I'm a huge, like, the personal training, the fitness thing has been, like, a big saver. And thank God I've always been into, like, sports and working out, because once that, like, buzzard goes off, once, you know, 3, 2, 1, go, my anxiety, the OCD, those thoughts literally fume, like, go away, because my mind is all about, like, that fucking barbell. And I'm sorry, I say barbell, like, right now, before I'm talking about CrossFit, but, like, whether it was a basketball game, it was a field hockey game, like, it just all went away during that time. Like, I didn't have time to think. My mind, when you have OCD, or, like, for me, is running constantly, and it's just these constant thoughts that, like, are popping in my head, like I don't even know how to explain it, like, pops in, like, one after another, like, I'll think I'm, like, okay, and all of a sudden something just pops in. And so while I'm working out, like, during that time, or while it's game day, back in the day, my mind doesn't have time I just don't have time to think like that. Like, I'm so focused on, like, getting the shit done, like, working my butt off to, like, score a goal or whatever it may be, that, like, the OCD is, like, way down here. Like, I don't know what it is. Again, I don't have, like, the knowledge, I guess, right now to, like, or I haven't studied, in which I would love. I'm really trying to get into more of the mental health, like, studying all this stuff, to learn more about the brain and all that. But, like, it's just been, and I don't care what, literally, this is where I don't give a shit what anybody says, but, like, that's where working out and, like fitness and sports has literally been one of my, like, therapy, is a type of therapy for me, because it helps my thoughts. I'm not saying that it's not, it can definitely beat your body up to a point, like, and there's different ways, like, when people say, oh, you know, working out is not therapy. I get that to a point, but you can't say that for everything. Like, for me, for my mental health, like, for my thoughts, for my mental, like, thoughts that I have, 100%, it literally, for me, alleviates them at that moment. Like, I'm just in the clear. Like, half the time, like, I just go for a run. Like, why do you think people go for walks? They go for runs. Like, it's so good to just clear your mind. Like, it releases, like, that, I don't know if it's like the endorphins or whatever you want to say. Sorry, I'm like literally can't even think right now because I'm just so like, but it just gets like the blood flowing, and it pushes like the intrusive thoughts in me like down, and they don't have time to like build up and pop out there. Sometimes when I'm trying to work on my computer, or if I live by myself, I'm single, that when I'm home alone, these thoughts come into my head all the time, or when I'm trying to leave my house, like they come in all the time. They're just unwanted thoughts. But when I'm in the moment, in that sports and like that fitness and that competition mindset, as soon as that buzzard goes off, that OCD, those intrusive thoughts, they're fucking down at the bottom. And my like competition mindset, that shoots up and it fucking bumps that OCD and that anxiety like out. But again, it's fucking boiling. I mean, like, oh my God, I'm gonna like not go to this competition or game until that fucking buzzer goes off. Like, it's like, oh my God, it's about to take over. But that's what I love. Like, I mean, the jitters, it's hard, but that's what fitness has saved me in that point. You know, I'm wanting to look into more therapy. I've gone to some therapy, but that was way back when my mom, I shouldn't say way back, but like a few years ago when my mom died. But it was just a little too soon. I wasn't ready to open up. Now that some things have happened over the years, and I think I'm just a little bit more mature, I guess you could say, to express my thoughts, my feelings, and I'm just kind of, I think I'm ready for it. I'd like to talk to somebody and get more help with my OCD and the anxiety and the depression that I feel. But I have to say, exercise and the fitness has definitely been something that has helped me, and I'm just glad that like that is the field that I work in. So yeah, so it's good to get some things off my chest, and that actually helps my OCD, I guess you could say, and anxiety. And as soon as I get off this video, I might cry some more, but that's okay. It's good to feel your feelings. But yeah, today is day one of this, and their challenge that they're running right now is feel your fear. Feel your fear. Sorry, I may be saying that wrong. But anyways, it's basically like conquering your fear. Like, go out, do something that you're scared of. And mine was basically just like opening up about this. It's hard for me because I've briefly said it to my mom before I moved to Florida. But I was so new to kind of like, I knew something was not right. And I didn't even know how to explain it to her. And I tell her everything. And I went and saw a doctor. I saw a doctor down here. But it's me who like doesn't know how to open up about it. And then I told my ex about it. He was probably the person I told the most, because at the time when I told him, honestly, I thought it was something that would save him and I's relationship, because I was so depressed that I like didn't know what else to do, and I just threw it all at him. And I was scared, and we aren't together anymore, and that threw some more OCD and anxiety and really depressed thoughts in my head. But it's for the better that we're not together. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I've told some people here and there, but I've not really opened up much. It's a scary thing. It's scary because you don't think anyone else thinks like you do sometimes. But in reality, the more that I see these videos and stuff, I'm like, there's other people who do. So if I can just help someone, or maybe someone out there can relate to what I do, let's like link up. Let's you know, let's talk about it, because I think the more that we share our story, that we help others. Because I know when I hear other people, I'm like, it makes you feel good that someone else is crazy. I'm using the word crazy. Like we are. We are all a little crazy, but when you feel like someone else is kind of like you share a bond. So, yeah. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a good rest of the night and have a happy Monday. Bye.